honesty, and integrity in sports. Again, ladies and gentlemen, our former Senator, Nikki Coseteng, who is, of course, the first woman coach.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Everyone having a nice time? Yes? I hope so. It's your 75th anniversary. And I'm sure nobody here is 75 years old. No, he's only 56. Anyway, I'm very happy to have been invited here, and I'd like to greet and thank Susan Papa, who is our Asian gamer, who's not getting her pension by being an Asian gamer. I found that out in the congressional hearing a few weeks ago, Tisha Amundo, because the ideal volleyball player, because she's tall, and the reach of a volleyball player, you know, should be almost a basketball player, right? You need to be tall.
I did also. I played basketball.
Exactly. I remember Ed Ocampo was Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball at the same time. And so you're Miss Basketball and Miss Volleyball at the same time. Well, it's too late for me to try. Professor Robert Calo. Okay. Boy Colinera. Coach. Mr. Baseball. I remember him from Indonesia and Kalamazoo days. There's a Graham Lim. Now, you don't look a day over 40, so 75 years. And to all the coaches, players, sponsors, basketball lovers, referees, I'm sure you're here. Are you? Okay, of course. Ball boys. I wouldn't have survived without a ball boy, to tell you the truth. And everybody else who's celebrating the 75th anniversary of Basketball Association of the Philippines. That's right?
Yeah.
I'm excited. I was so excited to be here. I left my house at 9 or before 9 o'clock. And I didn't realize it would take me 2 hours to get here. I was in competition with, what, several dozen containers here and there. And I'll tell you, those humongous monsters, I'm sure in our time there were no such things. Malaki na yung 6x6 ng panahon, ng unang panahon. Anyway, when Susan invited me to come here, basketball, oh my God. You know, I learned my alphabets maybe before I learned, my basketball alphabets before I learned my English alphabets. At that time, it was known as BAA. Diba, pinuturo sa atin ABC? Hindi ko alam yung ABC, alam ko BAA. I think it's Businessmen's Athletic Association. Then it was BAL, Businessmen's Athletic League, whatever. And then it was MICA, before I knew it, or BAP, B-A-P, and then it was MICA, until it became BBA. So for a while, my God, I said, if you're a child growing up in this world, the whole world of alphabets could be like basketball. At that time, my father was a player, Emerson Coseteng. He was a player in the BAA. We had Filispano ceramics. And I'll tell you, I was like 5 years old. And that was how long ago I was in basketball. Maybe same time as some of you. After a while, as business prospered and we began to get more involved in business, I felt like my father was more of a sportsman rather than a businessman. He was not in business to be in business. For a while I thought, or for the longest time, and maybe even today more so, I see now the connection, that my father got into business to enable him to get into sports. Nagtayo siya ng negosyo para magkaroon siya ng pagkakataon pumasok sa sports. Because over the years, I realized you cannot really be a sports advocate in this, especially in this day and age, the magnitude that it needs, the kind of financial requirement it needs, unless you really put your money where your mouth is. Whether it's 20 pesos, whether it's 50 pesos, 1,000, 10,000, a million, 50 million, 100 million, it's still money. It involves pamasahe, merienda, tarpaulin, banner, streamer, bola, goal, basketball court, kahoy na floor, or Herculean floor, whatever it is. It all boils down to money. Whether it's time, isang araw, dalawang araw, 3 oras, isang araw, dalawang oras, araw-araw sa isang linggo, that still involves money. Even the pamasahe on the MRT still involves money. So, when you do all these things, even if before I remember used to buy Leucoplast, it still involves money. So, whatever it is, I really seriously, honestly feel that my father really got into business and killed himself doing it because of the stress and the tension, because of course his size. He really got into business to be able to get into sports. My father was the kind of person who would miss management committee meetings, but he will not miss basketball practice. Sure. And I'll tell you, the athletes of yesteryears are completely different from the athletes of these days. Completely different. And so, I must say, for you to be celebrating the 75th anniversary of the BAP, you've seen a lot, you've been there, and you've done that. I remember, well, when Susan told me to talk about honesty in sports, why must it come from me? It should come from you. You guys are the ones that kababa there. You're the ones that have to deal or not deal with the syndicates. You're the guys who have to deal or not deal with the bonuses. So, why must it come from me? If in your heart, your intention is good, and you're honest about why you are where you are sitting, and how did you get to your seat today, is really because of how many years that you have been involved in basketball. Hindi kayo uupo dyan kung hindi doon sa 20 anyos, 30 anyos, 40 anyos, 50 anyos na nandiyan kayo sa basketball. Hindi kayo nandiyan dahil volunteer kayo. Sino gusto umupo nito? Magsasalita si Coseteng, kailangan may audience. Hindi yun gano'n. In sports, you know, there's no shortcut. And those who take shortcuts live a very short life. Seriously. You're celebrating 75 years. If you took all the shortcuts, I'll tell you, you wouldn't even be here. You're healthy, you're in good health, you can, you know, brave the traffic and all that, because your lifestyle was also different then. Yung mga superstars ngayon, 75 years from now, or maybe not even, 50 years from now, when they celebrate now the 150th anniversary of the BAP, palagi ko papasok dito sa kwartong ito, naka-wheelchair lahat. O naka-baston. Bakit? Kasi ang merienda ninyo, ginatan. Sila yung merienda nila, McDonald's. Jollibee. So you've lived long enough to see transformation of basketball. And when I talk about honesty, I talk about courage. I need courage. Why? Pag sinabi natin, oh, ito matapang. Ibig sabihin, yung matapang sa Pilipino, napakaraming ibig sabihin, di ba? Matapang ka, kaya, excuse me, matapang ka, kaya, makikipag-away ka, di ba? But when you talk about courage, it's really a very positive, it is really a virtue. Yung matapang, kuminsan hindi virtue. Minsan, masama pa kayo, matapang po. Pero gusto natin, bigyan ng kahulugan yung salitang matapang, equate it with virtue, and talk about courage. My definition of courage is very simple. And I try to live up to this, because I'm a firm believer in